You're listening to the Dollop on the All Things Comedy Network. This is an American history podcast where each week I read a story from American history to a hooded person.
Named Dave Anthony, who has no idea what the topic is going to be about. You didn't say your name, so.
But you said you're me.
Listen, it became, I don't know what it became. But we had to figure it out, and there were some creative decisions made, and, you know.
It got more confusing.
Look, I am willing to, here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll do. I'll do it again. If you want to try one more, I'm open to that.
No, I think then that's more confusing. I'm Dave Anthony.
This whole thing has just kind of, I'm not even sure. I don't even know what this is anymore, to be quite honest with you.
It's not that.
So, lover of dogs. Man with penis.
That's debatable.
Guy with penis.
Again, debatable. It's the second part.
Okay. Well, my name's Gareth Patrick. By the way, I'd like to be called Gareth Patrick. And I came up with a name for our fans. I forgot to mention this.
Is Gareth Patrick actually a person that I should know?
Me. I want to be called Gareth Patrick from now on. But you want to know what I've decided our fans can be called? And it's good because I've got a gimmick involved and merch.
Okay.
Our fans are the doll heads.
No.
And they bring doll heads to shows. And we sign them. Yeah.
No.
And we can sell doll heads.
No.
So if you're out there and you're a fan... If you're a doll head, bring a doll head to a show. That's the thing we're doing now.
No.
Yeah, listen, I'm the guy who did. I think I came up with signing cars. So now we're the doll heads have spoken. They want to bring the doll heads. They want them signed.
No.
Bring them to the show. We bring them to the show on April 27th at the Palace Theater in Los Angeles for our 10th anniversary. Bring your doll heads. Throw your doll heads on stage.
This is gonna be.
Throw your doll heads at me, Dave Anthony.
It's going to be so bad.
It's
going to be terrible.
Action. Wait, should I mention my gripe now or after this?
Go.
Okay, so I know that we have comedians. I meet comedians and comedians all the time who love the show. They love it. They think it's the best. And I've been trying to get paid since December for a show I did in London at a club called 21 Soho. On Sutton Row in London. And
when did you do it?
In December some point.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, something like maybe even early. It might have been September. But either way, I've been trying to get paid since then. And I had the people who booked it reach out to them repeatedly after I'd sent my invoice and multiple emails. And apparently this is a place that just decides to not pay performers. I didn't know that.
What's the name of it again? 21
Soho.
Okay, 21 Soho.
So there are places that have a similar name, like there's the Soho Theater. It's not that. It's 21 Soho. And I go on their website. They are still a functioning place. You call them. They will not return your calls. They will not return emails. So anyone who's ever thinking of performing at 21 Soho, just know going into it that this is a place that doesn't pay people. They owe me thousands. They owe me thousands of dollars.
And it's let's put it out there, not just performers, but if you're a customer of a place, do you think it's fair that the labor is being done for free? Well,
yeah, and this is what they do. Like they have a reputation for doing this. The management people who booked it, they were like, "Give us a minute," because they didn't want me to do this because they wanted to try to preserve. Yeah, they didn't want this, but I am just like so fed up. So I don't even want my money. I just want other comedians to not do shows there because they do not pay people. They negotiate deals, they sign contracts, and then it's like legally for me to go after them for whatever, the money costs me more money. It's an international thing. So
you should see if legally you can report wage theft to because it's illegal. They're committing a crime, so it's a legal thing.
Yes. Okay. But anyway, so if you're thinking of it, do not perform there.
Right. Ever. They're criminals.
Anyway, back to the show.
Hey, we're brought to you by Electric Bikes.com. It is the best. I have not electric, starting with an L. I love my electric bike. It is fantastic. I'm riding it all over town. You can fold so it fits in the car if you want to take a drive out somewhere and then ride your electric bike in the country or whatever.
Great.
Or if you live in the country, drive to the city, and you can ride it around. It folds so small. It's easy to put in a car.
Could you lose it?
No, it doesn't fold that small. You can't put it in your pocket.
Okay.
But it's really great. It's super comfortable. It's as fast as I like it. It's not too fast. I don't want it too fast. I want, you know what I mean? It's safety fast. Like I'm happy with it.
Stay alive.
Yeah, we need me alive. It's what everyone should have electric bike. I mean, it's great. It's really great. And so, you can skip on car rides because you can go do something on an electric bike. You can commute on it. You can go to school on it, whatever. It's great. And you can lock it up like a bike.
That's great.
It's pretty awesome.
And if someone sees you riding it, can they stop you and talk to you? Are you encouraging that?
I'm allowing that, but I will stare. I won't talk back.
I really, yes, I do not have one, but I know you have texted me repeatedly how much you love this thing.
I do.
Love it.
They can get up, electric bikes can get up to 150 miles on a charge.
Crazy.
It is crazy. They also have financing. If you're like, I can't afford an electric bike, you can pay as low down as $49 a month.
I can't believe that mileage.
It's nuts. It's completely nuts. They're super durable. Then they got a bunch of accessories you can add on for safety and convenience, like, a little basket or whatever and all that stuff. It's really...
Are you talking about a safety basket?
Sure, safety basket, which you put yourself in and then you ride.
Like your own dog.
Yeah, I don't know. So there's a bunch of different kinds. There's the XP Lite, which is very quick and affordable. There's the Expedition, very sturdy. It's like a cargo e-bike, can hold up to 450 pounds. So that's probably made for you. And then there's the XP Trike, which is the foldable one that Daddy has. And it's really fantastic.
The ad just really went off the rails in the last 22 seconds.
Very, very upsetting. So I cannot recommend it enough. It ships for free. Has very quick toolless assembly. I put it together really super fast.
Well, anything you're putting together, a tool's assembling.
Go full throttle into spring with electric bikes, the #1 selling e-bikes in the nation. Get your adventure started at electricbikes.com. And please mention the Dollop sent you in the post-checkout survey. That's LECTRIC, ebikes.com.
Nice.
We are on tour in Australia starting on, the 10th or something?
10th
May
or 11th.
10th.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing shows in Perth, Adelaide, Canberra, Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. And if you're going to the Brisbane football tourney, why not at nighttime enjoy a dollop?
Yeah, we are competing. We're declaring war on this tournament.
We are declaring war on it.
Yeah.
And then we also have our anniversary show here in Los Angeles coming up on the 27th.
Yes, and if you're unable to attend it, you can watch the live stream of it. We will be live streaming it. We have James Adomian, we have Karen Kilgariff, we have Carrot Top, we have former President Bill Clinton, we have Muscles the dog, and we have...
He canceled.
That dog was so
Muscles. He always
crazy.
cancels. It's a live stream, but one of us will be dead. That's
by the end. Just how it's supposed to go.
Okay, you ready?
Action.
So this is another episode that this is the famous episode in my mind where we walked out on stage. We had David Cross with us in New York. I walked out and saw the recording device just sitting on my chair.
This is why you go to the live show. Because sometimes these are only going to happen once. And this show in particular was, I don't remember what it's about. I remember one thing because David and I had debated it a little. But David we got to have him back on because he was such an incredible guest, because a couple things happened. The first thing that happened was It's the first time we thought, apparently, I guess someone else did do this during a show, but David had to go to the bathroom during the show, and he just stood up and he goes, which way is the bathroom?
Yeah.
And he just walked off stage and went to the bathroom. And we were like, oh, and then he came out with balloons, and then he started to sing happy birthday to the Dollop on a loop, and he went into the audience, and it was an incredible moment. But let's do the crossless version.
Yes.
Finally. The way it's supposed to be.
What God intended.
Yeah.
June 26, 1887. Year of our Lord, Jesucristo, also known to the kids as J-Town.
Are you sure? Because
feels he's hip, and they dig him.
Uh-huh.
And he, by the way, is giving out flame decals for your board.
Just seems...
Hanna Puch was born in Brest in Russia, occupied Poland. Brest. Occupied Poland to Polish parents Napoleon Puch and Carolina Masalska.
They're Napolish.
Masalska. Yeah, they're Polish.
Sure.
Or
Napolish.
Yeah, I think those are both Polish names, right?
Sure,
yeah. So her mom dies when she's young, and she's sent to St. Petersburg to be raised by relatives.
Okay.
There, she's raised in poverty. She's also considered extremely good looking. Like she's a very good looking young lady.
Okay.
When she's a teen, she's so hot that she's invited to the royal ball in St. Petersburg.
I don't think you're allowed to say she's hot, even though this is back then and she's dead.
That's what they saw.
You're saying it. You said it.
No, this was in the books. The book said.
Well, you're reading. These are books that I want thrown out of the Florida library. So whatever you're reading.
The book said everyone thought she was super hot. And they also said she was bringing it.
Okay. I feel like.
That's in the book.
Send me a screenshot, please.
And at the ball, she was chosen as the most beautiful woman there by the Tsar.
It's bizarre.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Don't ever say that again.
I wasn't sure you got that, but okay.
Oh, I did. Now I'm upset by it.
I'm happy.
He dug her so much that he had a painting done of her, which is now known as the Tsar's portrait.
Sure.
And
that's what we call Zart. I'll keep going.
Apologize.
No, the more that you push me, the more that I'll do it.
It's apology time.
It could always be done. I choose to let you go. I choose to free the people of this problem.
I feel sorry for what happens inside your skull.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah, it seems.
It really is.
Yeah. So at 19, she elopes with a Russian count named Arkady de Ingorn.
Sure.
But he's a drunk and he's a cheater.
Okay.
She has the marriage dissolved by the Orthodox Church in 1915. And then right after that, he is shot in the head and killed in World War I.
Oh.
So
she that's one of those things where, that's one of those things where, man.
Oh, yeah.
Just hung in there. He's going to die.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So Hannah was raised in a religious home, and she was told that nice girls are not supposed to be stage performers.
Okay.
But she wants to be a singer.
I was told that too. Okay.
Yeah, I know. So she starts taking lessons in opera, and she moves to Paris because she's going to have a go at opera singing.
Sure.
She changes her name to Madame Ganna Walska.
Better.
Much better.
What's the angle on the name change? Why?
I don't know. I think
just the performing name that's crazy.
Sorry. She picked it because she loved waltzing.
Oh, I was going to say that. That's crazy. Okay. Madame Ganna Walsa?
Yeah, Walska.
Is she? It can't be that.
I think that's what it is.
Wow. That's pretty good.
She's going to Walska.
I'm going to Walska.
And Ganna, she's like the erotic Russian version of herself, right?
Nice.
The stage persona.
Nice.
And so as World War I gets going, she decides to just get out of Europe, and she's going to head for New York City, make her fame.
That's where we recorded this originally.
Yeah.
This is a very similar story to the original recording.
It really is. Except the recorder isn't sitting by me on the chair or table.
Yeah, except this we will have the audio.
Yeah. She has a pretty decent divorce settlement. So and she also has a letter of introduction by Anna Held for her meet.
Sorry, isn't it easy to get a good divorce settlement when the husband is dead?
No, because the divorce settlement came before he died.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
But he also was, what was he, a baron? He was a Russian count, so he had cash.
Right.
So she also has this letter of introduction written by Anna Held, and that's for her to meet Diamond Jim Brady, who is a single millionaire.
Okay. I feel like this is the guy who I remember.
Yeah, probably. So Diamond Jim is famous for eating. That's the...
Sure. The name is perfect, obviously.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
He would eat 3 dozen clams in a sitting. Oh, God.
It's disgusting.
It's
but is
really...
that...
Just a mid-morning snack. Just a snack. Not a meal. That's a snack.
People put away that stuff. Those
gross.
Are so gross. You know what it is? It's the water that's in it that I think. Well, it's the whole thing. The whole thing looks like a cow eye, but then it's also sitting in like people are like, you want the brine.
I don't want the brine.
I don't want anything to do with it.
No.
That would actually be a good Patreon extra.
For lunch, he would have 2 ducks, 7 lobsters, and a steak.
Oh my God. Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, he's got issues.
Yeah.
That's really...
Now he would be on the Food Network.
Yes, that's correct. But unfortunately for Ganna, this awesome man is no longer on the market. He has been snapped up. He has fallen in love with celebrity opera singer Lillian Russell. So
did she like him?
I think she was looking to land a Richie. So I don't know if she liked him or not, or if it was just like, this could be good.
I think that's one of those people you might like, but then you see him eat and you're like,
the whole...
Probably not.
I mean,
it's the way you eat them.
Yeah. No, the whole thing is
horrible.
So Lillian also loves to eat, big eater. Sometimes she would put away a 12-course meal for dinner.
What?
And reporters would go to fancy restaurants to cover Jim and Lillian's eating contests, which is really terrible.
Terrible, and yet so such an obvious seed of today.
Yeah. The two of them also started riding gold-plated, diamond-studded bicycles around New York City.
It's like you with your electric bike.
The same deal. And then, so this awesome dude is off the market. So Ganna's looking for other wealthy dudes.
Damn.
She's having throat issues, and she's a singer, so she goes to the doctor to have him check it out. And
have you tried having 24 clams?
Get the clams on it.
Get 36 clams.
So we call this deep clamming.
So we're going to need to clam your throat.
From 11 to 1 p.m. Just constant
you're on what
clamming.
We call a clam slam.
You want a clam sliding over the throat every single
Keep going. Keep slamming
nonstop.
The clams. Brine them down.
So she meets the doctor there, Dr. Joseph Frankel. He's immediately like, this. I love this woman. So they get married after just 10 days.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Now, around this time, Ganna starts getting really into mysticism.
Oh, dear.
And quote, the meaning of life.
Oh, dear.
Mm-hmm. She's on a journey. She's on a spiritual and emotional journey.
This is the line. This is where you're like, all right, let's start the story.
She starts taking part in seances using Ouija boards, yoga, astrology, meditation, and telepathy. I would love to go to telepathic yoga.
Yeah, right. Don't tell me, downward dog. Yes. I should focus on my breathing.
I should, yeah.
Exactly.
She cold calls this guy, Harold McCormick. Harold is the largest donor to the Chicago Opera Company.
Okay.
And his fortune came from International Harvester, which is the biggest maker of farm equipment.
Okay.
So Harold had to take over the company for his brother, who had a mental breakdown.
Sure.
And the McCormick brothers had a horrifically sexually repressed upbringing, which led Stanley, the other brother, as an adult to sleep in a harness he made that strapped his hands to his ankles to stop him from jerking off.
No. How is this says a lot about this show that I feel like I haven't heard this before.
I know, right?
They gave him a Hankel machine so that he wouldn't whack.
Yeah, he got a strap. He strapped himself. He might have had it made for himself. He came up with
this. He had it made.
I bet they existed because it sounds like something that would have existed back then.
Surely, couldn't you just there has, I don't mean to sound like the black and white part of an infomercial, but there has to be a better way.
I'm trying to think of one. I can't.
I am too, because the only one I can think of is hands behind your back.
Yeah, I wouldn't do ankles. You don't have to do ankles.
Yeah,
now
that's
you're all
just like so
knotted
obvious.
up. And now you're closer. Your face is closer to your dick. So it's almost like mean to yourself.
Yo, I thought you were going to say you could suck your own dick, because I was going to say that's not easy.
Well,
Trust
if
me.
you
You've
do
tried,
this enough
right?
and you are into yoga,
tried, right?
It's very possible.
You've tried, right? You've tried to do it, right?
Your Honor, no, I've never tried that.
You haven't?
I know. Number one, I know I couldn't. Like, I know.
That doesn't mean, Dave, you got to, first of all, believe in you can achieve. Second of all, you might be the only guy I know who had,
really?
I'm not, well, I mean, you hear about it, and then at some point you're like, I mean, let's make sure.
I mean, I kind of feel sorry for the guy that can.
I knew a guy who could.
Well, he told you?
Yeah, well, his girlfriend told me, and then he admitted that he could, but he said it wasn't easy, but that he could start to. Yes. I was reading
a subreddit once. I don't remember what it was. It was like one of the people confession ones, and this guy said that he went over to have a three-way with a couple that he knew, that he was friends with, and they're like, let's have a three-way. And he goes, okay. And he went over, and then at some point the conversation got around to the fact that he could suck his own. And then they're like, well, do it. And so he did it. And then it got all weird and they didn't do the three-way.
He had a one-way. Wow. That's crazy. Ooh. Yeah. But no, I mean, one time I was like, let's make sure. And no.
It can't, right?
No, can't. No. I mean, can't.
You know who can? Which is weird, is your dad.
What?
What
does that mean?
I don't know who would bring
Why
that
would
up.
you even say that?
We were talking about it on the phone the other day.
It's a good thing nobody close to me listens to this show. It's a good thing I'm not supported by my circle.
Okay, so Harold, like I said, Harold is the largest donor to the Chicago Opera, right? So when Stanley met and married a woman, he was too freaked out to have sex. And then he eventually had a psychotic break from the pressure to have sex.
Wow.
More like you now, right?
This is how I'm starting to get it.
Now it's
that is, and this is all because of the
whatever
sexual
happened,
repression they felt.
Something in their childhood.
So
it must
something
have been more
where
than,
it like shamed sex and shamed,
yeah, it must have just been horrifying. Whatever they
had to be. Well, yeah, if you jerk off so much, you need to be taped together as one.
But the parents must have been like, if you ever fucking
go to hell,
you're terrible. Yeah,
right.
That kind of deal. Because he won't even do it when he's married. So this leads Stanley to becoming obsessed with the texture and weight of his underwear.
Oh my God! What the fuck? I felt like you were just gonna do a quick drop on this guy, but we're still sticking around. So
no, the 5 pound
he becomes
underwear.
Obsessed with the texture of his underpants.
Aren't we all?
Nope.
Okay,
nope.
That's just. So the family put him under guard and imprisoned him.
Oh my God! He had a whack guard.
Well,
I mean, it's so bad that he is like harnessed his hands to his feet. And there's now a guy who also is like, just in case you get out of that thing, I'm here.
No, he's his own whack guard. They
Right.
did that because he had a mental breakdown and is now like,
Oh.
how much does my underwear weigh? And they're like,
Right.
okay, we need to get him somebody.
So do not engage in the conversation about how much his underwear weighs. Do not ever.
It's 18 ounces.
Don't. And it's like, so he's going to say stuff like that. And your job is to go, just don't pretend like you didn't even hear it. Okay. So
I'm going to weigh the other parts.
So that obviously doesn't make a tremendous amount of sense, but none of it does. So look, the whole thing here is just let him be. Let him be. Let him cry it out. You know, he will constantly try to figure out the amount that it weighs. He loves the texture of it. You know,
bring the chains.
Honestly, at one point recently, I was looking back on the idea that at one point the biggest problem was how much he was, you know, jerking off. And boy, those are the luxury days in retrospect, because now what we're dealing with is just, you know, he's in there all the time.
Hi, mother.
Hello, Stanley.
Hi.
This is Bruce. He's going to be your new friend who watches over you.
Hi,
Bruce.
Bruce, can I say something?
Hold on. I'm going to jump in before you say anything.
My underwear weighs 18
Don't say anything
ounces.
about how much your underwear weighs. So do not bring up how much your underwear weighs to him, because Bruce has told me that he will not be your friend if you talk about that stuff. Because like, what did I tell you before? Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. And if you keep doing it, we're going to take him away. Okay?
This is a pound in 2 ounces. That's a lot.
Now let's stop talking about how much the underwear weighs.
But it
because
keeps
we're
everything
not doing that. No, it doesn't. Stop, Stanley. No. Stop it. You are done. Now you go. No, don't have a statement on deck like that. Just go to Stanley. Go to your room. Go in there. Put your hands in your ankle mittens and just go in there. And don't think about your underwear. Look, it weighs what it weighs. Enough.
Mommy?
If this is anything about underwear, do not say it. What are you about to say? What? Is it about your... I can tell it's about your underwear, and if it is, do not say it. What? If it is about your... Stanley, if this is about how much your underwear weighs...
No, it's not about how much they weigh.
Is it about how they feel?
Yeah, they feel like the couch.
No, they don't. What?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They feel like the couch.
Go to your room. Go to your room now. So it's it pays $2.50 an hour, which we think is super generous. Okay,
it's actually a lot for back then.
Okay, it pays 75 cents. Well, it should pay a lot. That guy was like, "Wait, what's the job?"
Okay, so I can't believe he.
You can't what?
I just can't believe he. That's his thing.
Oh yeah,
native underwear.
No, he sounds like Crumb.
So he's in a mansion in Montecito, California, where he's basically imprisoned with the guards. And the mansion has sprinklers in trees to spray him with cold water if he loses his shit while he's walking on the grounds. They also kept him from seeing his wife because he would get too upset if he saw her.
What? This poor woman.
She made a choice. He wasn't great from the get-go. Like she should have. They were talking about red flags.
Turn this. He's having him. Turn the sprinklers on. Get him now. Go.
Like they had to have a conversation where he's like, no, I chained myself up not to masturbate. And at that point, you're like, all right, I should find a different person.
How did he stay single for so long? He's got it all. He has ankle mittens for jacking off too much. He continuously talks about how much his underwear weighs. And look, sometimes he goes off the rails and then we just water him.
Yeah. So she would sometimes come by the mansion and she would hide in the bushes and watch him with binoculars. She's not normal either. I mean, let's be honest.
I actually, that part to me is like why I would stick around. I'd be like, I mean, I am married to the best nature documentary around.
Yeah, true.
Sprinklers.
So Stanley escaped in 1920 by hiding in a grocery truck that was leaving the estate.
Oh.
But they found him pretty soon after, hiding behind a rock.
Why are all these melons whole?
they start letting visitors come to see him, but a guard had to be hiding behind a potted plant to make sure everything was okay during the visit. And after Stanley dies, the estate is broken up and sold.
Wow. What
Currently,
can we just say? As far as characters in this show, that guy's in the conversation for GOATs.
Yeah, this is a best side character of all time.
Is he?
Yeah,
he's pretty great. I mean, that's a really epic run.
Way up there.
That's an epic run.
So Gareth, the land that they were on that was broken up and sold, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle live on a piece of that land.
Wow. And have similar issues from what I understand.
Yes, exactly the same. Anyway, back to Harold and Ganna. So she just called Harold out of the blue and said she's a singer and she has heard that he's connected to the Chicago Opera Company. And she asks, can you help me? And despite having never done anything like this ever, he's like, yeah, I can help you. So then he falls head over heels in love with Ganna. Her European style just completely blows him away.
Okay.
But a big problem was that Harold is married.
Sure.
As is Ganna to the doctor.
Yeah.
But then the doctor dies after he went into hospital with a quote stomach complaint and then was dead. He leaves her $350,000.
Nice.
In today's money.
Oh, okay. Still nice.
That's a lot of money. But Ganna, she's tired, she's depressed. And Harold is like, do you want to go to Europe where I'm going to ask my wife
to marry me
to divorce me?
Oh.
No, close. So Harold's wife is Edith Rockefeller, John D. Rockefeller's daughter. Yeah.
Now, can he get some of that?
Not if he divorces her, I would think. Or maybe, I don't know what the laws are.
I don't either back then.
Yeah. Who knows? So she lives in Switzerland, Edith, where she had gone because she had a nervous breakdown and she went to study with Carl Jung.
Okay.
As rich people
There's
do.
a lot of, a lot of names. Yeah.
The AP reported, quote, she has known for a long while that her husband is an intimate friend of the beautiful young Polish singer Walska. She has taken it calmly because as a student of mental science, she understands his urges and his right to freedom of action.
Wow. By the way, if you're going to go pull something like this, you definitely are lucky that she's in that situation with Carl Jung. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like, of course, you are in charge of your own destiny. That's awesome. Because I've been fucking her. So this is great. Well, I support that your physical body at this point is betraying some of the things we agreed to, but you want what you want. And that has nothing to do with me.
I do want what I want.
Exactly.
I want what I want.
Okay.
Oh boy, do I.
My underpants were
how much
15
do they
ounces. 15 ounces.
Bad. So he's basically got an open marriage, right? So on the ship going across the Atlantic, Ganna meets the richest single guy in the United States, Alexander Cochrane.
Cockring of the Cockring fortune?
No, Cochrane. Cochrane, not Cochrane.
Sorry.
Like Johnny.
Right. Okay, gotcha. Right.
He's a carpet manufacturer and he has $80 million.
So she is just like the light to affluent moths.
Yeah.
They just are into it. Okay.
Yeah. He was known as America's wealthiest bachelor. And he proposed the day they met.
She's kind of she's like Pam Anderson. Like dudes are just like, let's go. How about we get married tomorrow?
Yeah. Ganna says no, but he wasn't going to give up. And he kept courting her and proposing while they were in Switzerland. And she finally gave in and they got married in Paris.
So, okay, wait. So she's with, what's that other guy's name that she went on the boat with?
Harold.
Okay, so she goes there with Harold. He's going to ask for a divorce while they're en route to the divorce thing, she meets this guy and marries him while Harold is there going to the Rockefeller daughter to ask for divorce. And
but then he doesn't ask
because
Edith for divorce
because she's
married.
Okay, well, at least it's not like Noises Off where, okay.
If he had taken just a different ship.
So then he shows up there and she's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I just missed you. Awesome to see you. God, that's so unlike you to come see me. Thank you. Yeah.
So Ganna's marriage to Alexander quickly goes south.
Sure.
Quote, Alec turned out to be the most miserable man I have ever met. He was angry she still had furniture from her first marriage.
Well, I mean, look, there's a lot of times where you and I will rag on men on this show, but there are gripes that are actually legit. You do not hold on to old furniture. You just don't do it. I mean, it's just a slap in the face. Every time you enter a new relationship, you refurnish. That's what you do.
That's right. Gareth,
that's why it's called a love seat.
Gareth, speaking of refurnishing, we are brought to you by Squarespace. This podcast, The Dollop, is brought to you by Squarespace.
Dave.
We both love Squarespace.
Adore.
We both have our web pages with Squarespace. We have the Dollop sources with Squarespace. We have our the Dollop podcast.com.
Let me ask you
where
this,
you can get
Dave.
all your tour links.
Dave, shut up. Let me ask you this. Are there any websites you're affiliated with that are not Squarespace?
No.
Interesting.
I would not.
Same
I would not cheat.
with me.
I am not a cheater.
No. By the way, if you want to make a spreadsheet, you can do that on Squarespace.
Yeah, you can. You can also have an asset library. You can upload, you can organize, you can access all your content from one place. With the new asset library, you're able to manage all your files from one central hub and use them across the Squarespace platform.
I like to think that somewhere at some point, someone who has listened to this show for a while needs to make a website and goes and is like, oh my God, this is the real deal.
It is. You can also have an online store. You can sell your products in the online store, physical, digital, service products, whatever. And you can do custom merch. You can sell custom merch, create a nice income stream for yourself.
I've actually been making a lot of Squarespace merch.
Yeah, baby.
Which they're saying I'm not allowed to do, but
no, that's actually their deal. But
we'll figure it out.
You can design your products and your production inventory. Shipping's handled for you.
Yep.
So Squarespace is the deal. That's why we're involved and in love, and we all have the same weighted underwear.
The love is real.
Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/dollop to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Dollop.
Now, Gareth, Ganna, she thinks Alexander is very jealous of her career. That's what she thinks is going on. He's also upset and jealous about her friendship with Harry McCormick.
So she stays friends.
Who is the guy that she went on the ship with. Because he has the opera company. She still wants to be an opera singer. So she's not going to give that relationship up because that's her dream.
Right.
So she desperately wants to be an opera singer. But the big problem is that she, it turns out, is a terrible singer.
Is that going to be an issue?
Her own music teacher said her voice was, quote, like 5 million pigs.
What? That doesn't even make sense. So she's got a strong voice, but it's like a squeal.
It must be. It must be like a squeal, right? Very high and terrible. 5 million pigs.
It's wild. Okay.
She's not giving up, even though her teacher says that.
By the way, he does that. That's obviously quite hyperbolic because he's never heard 5 million pigs.
That's true.
Nobody
but he can imagine. He can imagine.
I mean, I don't know.
Some people have heard 5 million pigs.
Okay. It's called CPAC. The Dollop will be right back.
So she's not giving. We know comedians like this. She's not giving up.
Mm-hmm.
She did everything she could to overcome her nerves and her singing voice. She would
It
stage.
doesn't sound like it's a nerve problem.
It doesn't. It sounds like it's just a
sounds
talent
like it's
problem.
a pig issue.
So
She's got pig throat.
She would stage productions in which she was the lead. So she's got the money. She's putting on shows. In Havana during Fedora, her voice was so off that the audience threw rotten vegetables at her.
Pigs love that.
Pigs do.
The pigs in her throat were like, yeah. Wow.
But that means that people went to a show with rotting vegetables.
That's a very good point.
You have to come with that, or do you go outside and someone brings in a box?
Or if you're smart, you do what we do, which is you sell that sort of stuff, like the way we sell doll heads at the live performances
we don't do that.
For our fans, because our fans have started to call themselves the doll heads.
They haven't.
They have. So we're encouraging people to bring a doll head to a show. We're signing them. We're doing a whole thing. So, but anyway, you were saying about that is a true point. Where do you get, like, you don't go to the performance being like, this is going to be rotten vegetable, or people at that time walked around to every performance with like,
or maybe
rotting cabbage just in case.
I mean, I would imagine that there's guys selling at this time vegetables on carts all over the place. So maybe you could leave the theater and go out and come back. Yeah, there's gotta be.
Can I come back in and out? I need to go this is awful.
I got to come back with a bunch of eggplants that are leaking.
I'm going to get some tomatoes.
So, yeah, they threw
Leaky
vegetables
eggplants.
The Philadelphia Inquirer said, quote, famous musicians and audiences of cultured music lovers have fled in anguish from the sound of her voice.
This is crazy. Stop. She's not the Blob.
It's so funny. I mean, maybe people love attacking her because she is so good looking.
Right. But still, this is like, they're saying she's like literally Godzilla.
Yeah, they are. Her marriage, I don't know if this surprises you, but it was not going well.
Right.
Ganna said Alexander was cruel. And one example was when he gave her, quote, 8 or 9 priceless Cartier bracelets. Cartier?
Yeah,
Cartier. This upset her because she would never cover the, quote, natural beauty of my delicate wrists with the artificial beauty of rubies, diamonds, and emeralds. So she was mad about that.
If you can get over the fact that rich men are always coming after her, and that she is, if you could go to, like, you and I, you've gone to shows with someone you're like kind of seeing and watch them do something, and you're like, oh boy, like boy. We've done this, and if you can get over that, she's very close to perfect, because the idea that this woman wants no jewelry, is smoking hot, has money.
I get. Is that what she wants? Is that what it is? She doesn't want any jewelry, or it's because of her wrist? She doesn't want her wrist covered. I don't know.
Maybe it's her wrist. Either way, I want people to pick up on the fact that I don't know what her personality is and called her perfect.
That's right. She also said Alexander, quote, forced me to accept a sable coat worth 1 million francs, so big and heavy that it made me look old and fat. These are
sable. What is sable?
A sable coat?
I believe is sable not?
I think it's isn't it just a raincoaty type thing?
It must be like a mink offshoot or something.
Sable coat. It looks like a fur. It's an extremely rare and extravagant, expensive coat. There are 2 types: Russian and Canadian.
What?
So. Oh, I think sable is actually an animal. That's
what I mean.
Sable fur coat. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Sable fur.
Okay.
So that's what it is. Sable fur.
Okay. All right.
So he bought her a fur coat, and she's like, "This makes me look fat."
Right.
Okay. So she's hard to please.
Hard to shop for. Yeah.
Alexander was soon done and left her in Paris, and he came back to the U.S.
Okay.
So Ganna found out she couldn't get alimony in France, so she returned to the U.S. and filed for divorce.
Smart.
Now, Harold and Edith returned around the same time, and the press knew Harold was a sponsor and close friend of Ganna. They started asking questions, and Edith said she did not know, quote, that woman.
Okay, but are they like, not you?
No, they asked. I think they asked Edith.
Her.
They asked Edith if she knows Ganna, and she's like, I don't know that woman.
Yeah.
She also said there was no trouble in her marriage. And then Edith filed for divorce.
Yep, perfect. That's the move. That's what you do.
Yep. Months later, Ganna filed for divorce from Alexander for abandonment.
Okay.
And she gets a huge settlement.
So both the guys... Wait. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
The doctor she got money from, the count.
And now she's got...
The count. And now she's got the richest guy in America giving her a settlement.
Yep. And now Harold is single too.
He's single, and 4 days later, they get married.
Jesus Christ.
Ganna told a reporter, quote, "I shall not let my matrimony interfere with my operatic career.
My voice will do that." Yeah.
That is understood by both of us.
It would be, just because that's a great impression, could you try to just do a Figaro as a pig and we could call it Figaro? Figaro. Okay.
Harold agreed, quote, "Ganna is the greatest singer of all time." Shit dudes will say when they're getting laid.
Oh, man, that's great.
So Harold does everything he can to support her struggling opera career. He somehow gets Ganna into the lead in a Chicago production of Zaza.
I love Zaza.
Zaza, so good.
So
good.
So good. The best.
The way Zaza, yeah.
Just what if I were to ask you your favorite song from Zaza?
It would be Zaza.
I agree.
Yeah, right?
It's a great part of it.
Yeah. During the final dress rehearsal, the director begged her to sing at a normal volume.
So she really is pushing it. That is,
I guess,
because he says 5 million pigs. So she really is.
She must be, right? Just screaming.
By the way,
she must be screaming.
She must be screaming, and that note is pretty. I mean, I'm sure he gave it before, but I'm sure now he's like, "Look, we open tomorrow.
Yeah,
please."
So when he said that, Ganna burst into tears and yelled, quote, "Swine, you would ruin my performance." And then she's
talking to her throat.
After a little while, she came back and announced, quote, "Gentlemen, I am packing my bags. At the end of the season, you will be packing yours." What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, I was going to ask you that.
It isn't. I'm packing my bags. You'll be packing yours at the end. But that means she's leaving, and then they're going to get fired later.
Is she? Who's funding this endeavor? This is
her. I mean, Harold got her
right.
into a production in the Chicago Opera Company.
Okay, so she's basically saying Harold will get rid of all of them.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
The production goes on. The New York Times review said, quote, "Ganna Walska fails as Butterfly. Voice deserts her again when she essays role of heroine." And also that, quote, "Madame Walska clings to ambition to sing."
Not great.
No.
Not great.
She then comes up with a way to get critics to like her. She joined a German opera company that's touring the U.S., but this time she would be in disguise and using the stage name Louis Berard. So she's like, they're doing this because they don't like me. I'm going to go with somebody else, and then they will hear my voice, and they'll be, who is this fucking angel? Right. Who is the angel?
Okay. There is...
They're gonna
full delusion.
They're gonna praise her amazing voice because they don't know it's her.
They don't like her because of who she is. Gotcha.
The company does worse and worse with each city they go to on the tour. The owner kept calling Harold for money. Harold gives thousands of dollars over the tour. Quote, "To her great disappointment, the critics in no cities went into raptures over the voice of Louis Berard."
So that's like when like a celebrity funds their kids' music. And it's like when Hulk Hogan and his daughter was trying to become a pop star.
Or no, who's the guy who had the other country singer guy? Oh my God.
Who? Country singer? Billy Ray Cyrus, but Miley Cyrus.
No, not Billy. He was before Billy Ray Cyrus. It was he was such a big country singer for a while, and then he came up with the.
Garth Brooks when he did Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines. Nobody knew that was who he was at first.
I think we did know that.
Did we? I thought we didn't
think we
know.
did. No, I think we knew, and I think we just were horrified.
Okay.
Because I believe there's an episode of Saturday Night Live where Garth Brooks hosts and Chris Gaines is the musical guest.
Yeah, totally normal shit.
Which is like...
But I felt like that was after everybody knew. I don't know. Maybe I'm totally wrong. I felt like he put out an album.
Maybe
people didn't know. Well, it's like writers do this sometimes. They will, like Stephen King wrote books under another name and put it out to see what would happen.
Yeah, but it was King Stephen, so we were all kind of like, I think so.
It was Stephen King Kong, which people saw.
It was strange. Absolutely.
Yeah, so it might be the Garth Brooks thing. I don't know. I mean, I really feel like that's what he did, though. I feel like he was trying to pretend like he was somebody else, and then people found out. Because he can't exactly hide what Garth Brooks looks like.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at the picture that I looked at, you probably wouldn't be like, Garth Brooks. You'd be like, oh, wow. This guy looks like he's smoking a clove. Yeah, so I guess he was going to do a movie about Chris Gaines. So it was going to be...
Oh, okay.
And then to promote the album's release... Oh, my God, they did a behind the music on him.
Oh, shit. God, how fucking weird.
That's... Man...
So he was just doing a movie about a fake musician, and then he started and he was like, "Why don't I just do this as like a stage thing?"
I think he kind of kept doubling down.
Really weird, really weird.
But he did have a single that did all right.
Okay, that's all that matters.
Called "I'm Really Garth Brooks," which wow. Man.
All right, well, that was a good time.
Yeah. Someone should have taped his hands to his ankles so he couldn't have made that.
Yeah, seriously. So, $100,000 he puts down on the tour.
And back then money.
And the nobody likes it. It's what you'd think.
Right. After
he buys Ganna a theater in Paris.
Smart. That would be the next step for sure.
Theater des Champs-Élysées.
Champs-Élysées, probably.
Champs-Élysées, yeah, all right, that's fair. So. To put on a big production. He's like, this is it. He buys the theater to put on a production. Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely like, just have the conversation.
But Ganna tells the Chicago Tribune that she used her own money, not Harold's.
Sure, so she lied.
Quote, I will never appear in my own theater until I've gained recognition based solely on my merits as an artist.
So never.
So she starts studying with a famous vocal teacher, Cécile Guilly.
Okay. Another
famous of Guilly said Ganna had no ability to sing and that Guilly just took her on as a student for the money. If you can imagine
it's a smart decision.
A teacher of any art form doing that, if you can imagine
Shocking.
Harold paid for $1,000 worth of voice lessons. Back then, that's a crazy amount.
Yeah.
The Paris production that is a disaster. Orson Welles based the opera singer with no talent in Citizen Kane on Ganna from this. I was going to say
that it feels very, very similar.
Yeah.
By the way, I saw Citizen Kane for the first time like a year ago. Mm-hmm. That's one of those movies where
I haven't seen it still. I will at some point. It's on my list. I don't think I'm going to like it.
You won't. It's one of those movies you'll be like, I'm probably going to shoot a couple texts off while this is on.
I like though. Whenever I watch older movies, it's usually noirs that I like, and I don't really like much else.
Yeah,
but there are some very good. I don't want to say they're all bad. There's some very good older movies.
Yeah, there are for sure. You know what I love still, and I get made fun of by my friends, is the Marx Brothers.
Yeah, no, the Marx Brothers are good.
I love the Marx Brothers.
Yeah. That got weird, but the way it just was a little too much
pushy.
It was
just a little rude.
So bad reviews come. Obviously, Ganna tries to cheer herself up by buying Fabergé eggs.
Sure.
Harold decides to have monkey testicles put into his testicles. We talked about this on another episode where the guy was putting testicles in
Goat
testicles.
testicles. To me, monkey balls are new. Am I crazy?
Well, it's not something that he just came up with on his own. There was a surgeon, Sergei Voronov. He was a Paris doctor. He had come up with the idea and it just took off. So he became incredibly wealthy from putting monkey nuts into men's nuts. The rest of the world thought he was crazy and then would just mock him, but a small handful of rich dudes started doing the procedure. Go ahead.
Now, I know I'm not trying to retread trodden territory, but so she's got a pig throat and he's got a monkey sack? So and the idea here is that if you just toss extra nuts, if you take thinly sliced monkey testicles. Are you being fucking serious?
Yeah.
You slice them?
You very thinly sliced, like you would with garlic.
They're like garlic?
Yeah, they're like garlic. Yeah. And they would up your sex drive and slow down aging. So it's the combo. And I think this has been medically proven.
You put the sliced monkey balls in your scrotum, just like sitting next to your balls.
Slip them right in there.
And then that is... I'm picturing the way you do it also much like garlic on a cutting board, and then you kind of knife it in there a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's probably a sizzle.
And then you're ready to go.
That is that is fucking crazy.
Gareth, athletes were really into it. In the 1939 FA Cup soccer final, it was supposedly fueled by men who had monkey nuts in their sacks.
Oh my God!
So,
it's like genital Bitcoin.
Fair takes things too far when he put a human ovary into an ape and tried to get it pregnant.
What is going on?
It's called trying things.
What's going on?
You can't say no until we tried it.
An ovary. Why would he do this?
Where
is the semen coming from? A monkey?
It might already be impregnated, or then you got to fuck the monkey.
Stop. You're not he didn't do it.
Monkeys love loving.
Dave, come on.
Apes love them.
Stop it. I'm not going to let you just sit here and say he was trying to make a human.
People have fucked monkeys.
A humanzy.
He also started
a man pansy
trying to get the testicles of executed murderers.
Wait, what? Who wants their balls? I would be like, give me monkey.
Well, he thought it'd be better than monkey nuts.
Man, look, this guy...
He's nuts. You know what? He's trying. At least he's trying.
He's not. It's really bad.
Well, you say that now, but what if it worked?
It didn't.
You know how many people we would be executing? Somehow more than we are now.
True. Yeah, that's very true.
But he did want to be...
may I talk to the family? Have you made plans for the burial of the man? And what are y'all doing with his testes?
But he wanted to be cautious and keep an eye.
Yeah, he wants to. Yeah, no, this guy screams trepidation.
When he puts an executed murderer's sliced testicles into another guy, he wants to make sure, keep an eye on them so they don't suddenly start committing crimes.
So it's kind of like the movie Heart Condition with Denzel Washington and Bob Hoskins. So you think that you're going to get the convicted person's
you don't know.
Drive.
You don't know.
Sex drive, but then the downside is you'll also have a compulsion to commit the same criminal acts.
Yeah.
And why slice them?
Well, the flavor and potency comes out more.
Up. It's a flavor profile decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's flavor.
Okay.
It's like a scratch and sniff when you scratch the book.
One of those questions I guess I shouldn't have asked, and
for sure,
wish I hadn't.
100%. I wouldn't have. So the idea catches on a little bit. Dr. Leo Stanley removed 30 testicles from executed prisoners at San Quentin and put them into other prisoners just for the hell of it.
What? So there
to see what would happen.
What's up, Chuck? I got your balls. Hey man, how are my balls doing?
Anyway, Harold undergoes the procedure in Chicago at Wesley Memorial Hospital. It was done by Dr. Victor Darwin Lespinaze, and he is America's #1 top testicle doctor.
Oh, my God.
At first, the press thought he was doing a human-to-human testicle surgery with a donator. Or sometimes not a donator. From the AP in 1920, quote, a married 34-year-old Husky World War I veteran and marginally employed Wisconsin beet farmer living in Chicago named Joseph Wozniak reported to police that he and a friend went to a Chicago bar where they drank heavily with 4 other men. Later, as Wozniak explained to a physician, Dr. Sempolinsky, the 4 men threw a bag over his head, forced him into a car, and chloroformed him. He woke up on a sidewalk under a viaduct near 17th Street. Then he discovered that one or both of his testicles were missing.
Oh, my God.
Hey.
Oh, my God.
If you can make a buck, you know what I mean? These guys are entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs, baby. These guys are they see a market.
I cannot believe what.
Like you wouldn't do it if you needed some cash.
I mean, the place went ball crazy. They bagged it. First of all, they bag his head and then they unbag his junk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Double bag.
And then imagine waking up and be like, my balls. Like I've not been able to find my phone and been like,
It's the same. I think.
Like if you miss your AirPods, you're like, oh no. I think my balls are gone.
Yeah.
Hey, excuse me, sir. Can you do me a favor?
Mm-hmm.
I just woke up under an aqueduct and
viaduct. If you're under an aqueduct, you'd be underwater.
Yeah. Well, we have bigger fish to fry right now. I'm in the middle of a bit of a conundrum. Now, when I peel this back, what do you see? Anything?
Nothing. Oh, good fuck Christ. What?
Yeah.
No. Why are you peeling that back? Don't.
Because someone pinched him.
Oh.
Someone had some sticky fingers.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, buddy. I have a monkey.
Oh, man.
And we can put a couple in there. I also have a dog.
Oh, my God. Thank God I met you.
Anyway, Harold apparently gets the monkey testicle surgery, not the human testicle surgery. So
smart.
Later, Ganna would say Harold was insatiable after the surgery.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So he was a real monkey fucker. Yeah. All
yeah.
Right.
So Harold gets her the lead in an opera in Nice. And she's supposed to be in 2 shows, but then after the first, the mayor of Nice refuses to let her take the stage again.
Now that's bad. That's when you're real bad. When the mayor has to step in.
Yeah. Legally.
And by the way, in French, mayor means mother. So it could go either way.
He said, quote, I just don't dare risk what might happen. Fortunately.
Yep. A guy got monkey balls put in him and nothing, but then this woman can't sing. That's how bad she is.
Fortunately, the Folks Opera House was in debt, so Ganna offered $100,000 if she could sing once a month.
You know, she should have done a show at 21 Soho in London. If money's
that's the place
not an
where
object,
you pay to fly there, and
that's the place where you book your hotel and you book your travel, and then you get
you
there,
lose money,
and then you sell out a show, and then they don't pay you
because wage theft.
Because that's the business model,
and that's 21 Soho that steals from comedians.
That's right.
Okay,
and performers. That's right.
So the opera management is like, okay, we'll take that money, and she then appeared in Butterfly. Quote. Seldom has a singer more vigorously and unanimously been roasted by Vienna's critics. One asked the Opera House to give back the $100,000.
Holy shit. Oh my God. Wow. Oh boy.
But she keeps...
God damn, I was just going to say, like, take the note. It ain't happening.
Yeah. So she keeps getting a shot in operas all around Europe and quickly fails everywhere she goes.
Okay.
Harold supports her, the audience, and he's in the audience every single time she sings.
Oh,
but
God.
he wants to go back and live in Chicago. and she wants to stay in Europe and pursue this singing career that's going awesome. So in 1931, Harold returns to the States and sues her for desertion.
Okay, that's strange.
Mm-hmm. But she's a bit older now. And she said her search for truth and great purpose was reborn.
Okay.
Sorry, I got lost.
So did she.
Yeah, bingo. Okay. She said there would be, quote, no more waiting for Prince Charming, and focused on her career. But then, in 1937, she met scientist Harry Grindell Matthews, who lived in a fortified compound in Wales.
The mammal?
No.
So I thought it was like a Pinocchio situation. Okay.
Harry had once claimed to have invented a death ray.
Dave,
Mm-hmm.
just...
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like every man in this story
They're fine.
is absolutely
No.
insane.
Normal. I wouldn't say the women are looking good either.
I wouldn't either, but really, really, the log lines on these gentlemen are pretty airtight.
Don't
We've got
say
the
it's
clam
bad
slammer.
if you haven't tried it.
I've tried clams. So we've
And
got the clam slammer.
Monkey nuts? In your nuts?
We've got monkey balls.
Have you made a death ray? Have you tried making a death ray?
Now we got Death Ray Man? No, I haven't. Nope.
So he made it.
How do you even make a death ray? And by the way, remember, I did just gloss over, obviously, the hero of the story.
The monkey?
Ankle bind.
Oh, right. So the death ray is a doomsday weapon able to disable engines by remote control, set fire to distant objects, and strike death at long ranges.
This is not a real thing.
It also has other convenient functions. So
it's a
incredibly, the death ray is not real.
That's what I wanted.
And Harry refuses to demonstrate it for other scientists or the military.
Right.
He just held a press conference where he'd kill a mouse with a death ray. So he'd put it on this little demonstration and say, this is what it can do, but at larger scale.
What would it do?
I don't know exactly what he'd do at the press conference, but he would kill a mouse with a death ray of some kind.
Okay.
Reporters love it.
Sure.
And he gets a lot of backing from the media.
He's a bit of a Musk.
Despite physicists saying the mouse killing was an experiment anybody could do, was not a thing.
Sure.
But the media is like, no, this guy's fucking great.
Right.
And they want to know why British Parliament is ignoring this amazing death ray invention.
Right.
Like, what's going on with Parliament?
Right.
Yes. Turns out the military was allowed to see a death ray demonstration just once. And the military scientists so didn't believe in it that they stepped right into the beam to show it didn't do anything.
Wow, that's pretty great. I mean,
Must
it's rare to be on the side of the MIC,
military?
but yeah. Man.
This was obviously not great for Harry and his...
Do you have dogs?
No.
Because if I listen closely...
No, I don't hear anything. The military scientists stepping in front of it's not great for Harry because he said it could destroy entire cities and it was making his assistants pass out all the time.
Sure.
So now the press starts fighting over whether it's real or not real.
It's crazy.
Harry goes bankrupt, but then bounces back with other inventions that actually made money.
Okay.
And
a life ray.
By the time he meets Ganna,
a death ray Romano. By the way, that's a new bit I'm working on.
A sex ray.
Yeah, that's good too. Do you want to hear Death Ray Romano?
Sure.
Turn it on.
My parents live next door to me.
Do you want more?
No.
Pull the trigger again.
My brother's a cop.
Okay, I'm done.
I gotta take that to the stage.
I
That's
don't think you
good.
do. I don't think you do.
That's real good. We should do one more. Pull the trigger one more time.
I have twin boys. Having twin boys is crazy.
I love when you watch a guy who does impressions and he's like, "Hey, here's something. What if William Shatner was sitting around a campfire with Christopher Lloyd,
The best.
and Bob Dylan?"
I have a couple of jokes where I'm like, it's bordering on that, like where you're like, I wonder what that would sound like. But yeah, those are the best. Where it would just be like, I don't know if you know this, but Bob Dylan loves to build fire. What would it be like camping with Bob Dylan? He'd be like, "Hey, I can't get this tin up. Hey, maybe we should camp on Maggie's farm."
It's so bad. Okay, so by the time Harry meets Ganna, he has made money off his other inventions. He owns his own compound, and he has a brand new invention with military potential: aerial mines.
What?
So,
walk me.
They're in the air.
How?
They're mines in the air.
Isn't it great that actually kind of exists now?
Kind of.
Awesome.
So, of course, it's aerial mines.
Wow.
So Harry explains to the New York Times, quote, "It has been said that the principle is to establish a minefield in the air by means of rockets and aerial torpedoes fitted with time fuses, which can be sent up to great heights to release a colony of smaller torpedoes. Each of these torpedoes drops on a parachute fitted to long wires, and together they would form a web-like network around enemy airplanes. There's a great deal more to it than that, and I am naturally not telling anyone yet."
Well, it seems like you told everyone everything, and also sounds extremely impossible.
It sounds really dumb.
Wow.
So Harry is like every other dude in the story, super into Ganna, and they both have a love of opera.
He should come up with a Ganna ray. I'm sorry.
Are you?
I want to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
All I want to do is more Death Ray Romano, but
No, but let's not. You can do that after the show with yourself.
Yeah. I'm going to do an album called Death Ray Romano.
Now
Just
Ganna
took out Cuba.
Okay, Ganna is not into Harry.
Okay.
She thought he's ugly and that he has a giant ego.
Okay.
And that makes Harry really depressed.
Sure.
Which worries the British government because he is now inventing a way to detect submarines. Quote,
"Oh my God.
Her indifference might kill him before his invention for detecting submarines and defending London could reach the hands of the War Ministry."
So they are...
The government's worried. Because his fake stuff might not happen.
I mean... it's really amazing. It really is Silicon Valley-ish.
Yeah, 100%. So Harry starts giving interviews, and he's attacking Britain for not backing his incredible work and said he would sell his inventions to a foreign country.
Uh-oh.
And so, like I said, Gannon likes nothing about him, but she is sort of into the possibility of saving England from military attacks. And her friends and the British government now start begging her
You
to
must
give him a chance. Give him a
Please fuck
chance.
him. Please
just get in there once. Get in there once.
On behalf of us.
Just the tip.
Please. Just the top of it. Just the very top.
The little mushroom.
What we call the steeple. Let him steeple you, please. Become steeple people, please. Your sacrifice on behalf of the British people would never be overlooked.
Give her a little bronze.
Here you are, yes. Take this, yes. Yes. You
Fire
see,
service.
this recessed copper will actually allow him to enter you without actually entering you. The sex will never be achieved as long as you put this coppered cul-de-sac inside of you. Please. Please.
Well, she did.
Wow.
And 3 months later, they were engaged to get married.
Wow. Okay.
After, she goes back to France, and he goes to his compound, and she found him grating. She can't. She's not into him.
Right.
That
Please
didn't take her
turn that
long.
stupid Death Ray Romano off.
Can't believe it. I'm in another conundrum.
Didn't take her long to realize he wasn't going to save anyone from war because his inventions were bullshit. She's like,
Right.
this is crazy.
Right.
So she goes back to the U.S., and she's now insanely rich. When she went through customs in New York after a trip abroad, she had $2 million in clothes and jewelry.
Wow.
Back in New York, Ganna starts writing her memoirs called Always Room at the Top.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could also call it Marry the Rich Guys.
Yes. She gets into yoga, and that's how she meets Theos Bernard. He is the first American to be initiated into the rites of the Tibetan Buddhism.
Okay.
And he had nicknamed himself the White Lama. So after all this,
Dave.
she ends up with a creepy, weird yoga guy, like the
Named
guy that's
White
out in
Llama.
Taos. That's like, yeah, this is a guy who can suck his own dick. Now we've met the guy who can suck his own dick.
I can steeple myself. I'm a self-steepler.
He's a Buddhist mystic, and he's a celebrity yoga instructor.
Sure.
And he wrote just clearly fabricated stories about traveling in Tibet.
Okay.
So Theos married a bunch of rich women and used their money to fund his religious practices.
Yep, we've heard these types on the show before.
Mm-hmm. He's 21 years younger than Ganna.
Oh, wow.
She's not that into him, but she starts taking yoga every day.
Right.
And then he tells her that he loves her and wants to marry her.
Okay.
And when she said when they did get married, he burst into tears. He started crying. He was so happy.
Oh, wow. That's cute.
Ganna wanted to live more within her means, and she decides to buy a ranch in California.
More within her means.
I don't know.
I mean,
don't know.
her means are basically endless.
Yeah. Now, Theos goes and finds 2 properties for her in Montecito, California, and convinces her to buy them and then turn that into a retreat for Tibetan monks.
Okay.
And then Harry dies of a heart attack in 1941, and Ganna's a widow.
You think it might have been the monkey balls?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Could have been.
Too
Maybe he
many.
got a monkey heart.
Oh, so they're not married yet. He's asked her to marry. So Theos pressures her to marry him, and she gives in. But she does make him sign a prenup.
Smart.
So they got married in 1942 in Las Vegas, as you do if you're a yoga instructor.
Yep.
World War II breaks out, and now Tibetan monks cannot come to the retreat because of visa issues, which makes Theos very upset.
Yep. Well, he's the real victim of this war.
Yeah, thank you. So he starts having wild yoga instructor mood swings.
Sure. Right.
And then she's like, I can't take this. And she files for a divorce. And Theos takes a bunch of Ganna's books and furnishings. And then he sues her for support, saying, even though there was a prenup, he had been accustomed to this lifestyle.
This is so monk. This is one of the main practices of Buddhism. This is a tenet of Buddhism.
It is.
I believe get yours.
That was what Buddha said. He was under
Yeah,
the tree and he was
that
like,
was-
get yours, get
Yep,
it.
Get it.
Get
it
everything
now.
you can.
Hurry.
So there's a trial, and during the trial, he perjures himself about how much he had from previous marriages, and he loses the case.
Okay. Nice.
And then he goes to Tibet,
Okay.
where he gets shot in the head and thrown in a river. No one knows why.
Fuck?
But
What
that's
the
happened.
fuck?
I'm sure he annoyed someone. This guy
Jesus
sounds like he should have been
Christ.
shot a lot in the head.
What is your deal? Leave him
He's-
alone.
You know what? I know this
He
guy.
didn't, White Llama didn't deserve to die.
I've seen this guy too many times. He's out in New Mexico in the fucking desert.
I bet they probably turned on the Death Ray Romano.
Have you ever seen the video Sex Magic? It's a documentary. Really,
No.
people go watch it. It's really horrible.
Really?
Yeah, it's a guy out there who's like a yoga type guy, but he's having sex with all the women who come to his place. It's just like Tantra, of course.
Yeah.
So that's the end of Ganna's marriages. She lives on the estate in Montecito, and she renames it Lotus Land.
Sure.
And she turns it into one of the greatest botanical gardens in the world.
Nice.
She spent the next decade just taking care of and expanding her garden. You can still visit it today. You can go visit it. She spent so much money on Lotus Land that she ran out of money and had to sell her jewelry to expand.
Wow.
And she did that up until she died in 1984.
Wow. What an ending.
Yeah.
God damn.
Right?
That is if you're looking for a starting five, husband wise, suitor wise, that's top notch. Can I ask for something that I don't believe I've ever asked for before?
No.
Please. It has nothing to do with Death Ray Romano, I promise.
What?
Can you reread the ankle guy part just real quick? Just the part about the guy who had to masturbate and was obsessed with his underwear. I won't even interrupt you. I just wanted to.
Stanley. Okay. Stanley was a McCormick brother, and they were horrifically sexually repressed, leading to Stanley as an adult to sleep in a harness that he made strapped that strapped his hands to his ankles to stop him from jerking off. Stanley met and married a woman he was too freaked out to have sex with, which eventually led to a psychotic break from all the pressure to fuck, which led him to becoming obsessed with the texture and weight of his underwear. The family put him under guard and imprisoned him in a mansion in Montecito, and the mansion had sprinklers in the trees.
He was in Montecito too.
Yes. To spray cold water on him if he lost his shit during a walk on the grounds.
Oh, man. That guy's awesome. It sounds like he probably had monkey. If you want more take that guy's balls and put them in your bag.
100%.
That's your one. Wow. Okay. What a ride.
Sources: biography of Madame Ganna Walska by Nina Wald, lotusland.org, independent newspaper, cracked.com, the Washington Times, Buffalo Times, Philadelphia Inquirer, the Daily News, the New York Times, allthat'sinteresting.com, newspapers.com, and Chicago Magazine.
Man, that I cannot believe. I cannot believe how little of that I actually remember.
I don't remember any of it. I remember, like, well, one things would come up, you'd be like, oh, I kind of.
You know what I remember is the guy eating.
The guy eating.
Isn't that crazy that that's like what I remember?
That too. I remember that too.
I think because we maybe had a moment with David where we were talking about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Everything else is like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That is so crazy.
Wow.
Whew. All right. Well, I would encourage people to go to my website, Death Ray Romano, if you want to hear more sound drops and if you want to get ringtones.
Jesus Christ, man.
What?
What the fuck happened to this place?
What are you talking about? My wife and I are having issues.
I have to read. I forgot to read this up top.
There's a lot of friction.
Hey, you get a sense of freedom. You want to. Hey, Gareth, do you remember riding your bike as a kid and you have a sense of freedom? Where would you go on your bike? Would you ride to the park? Would you ride to the...
I rode all over. I rode around Brown Deer Park where I'd see sportscaster Tim Van Vorn golf. Or sometimes I'd ride to the creek and I'd look for like crawfish or frogs. Yeah,
you want to get out? It's spring. You get out there. You enjoy the weather. You recapture the magic of meeting who?
Tim Van Vorn.
Tim Van Vorn. Electric Bike has an amazing variety of models that are built for riders of all abilities. It's never been easier to fall in love with riding again. Plus, every electric e-bike ships free and only requires quick, toolless assembly. Go to electricebikes.com to discover e-bikes that start at just $799 with the XP Lite.